Welcome to BISMAC podcast. Myself, Dr. Vanita Agarwal, CEO and founder of Business Strategy e-magazine and Law Strategic Advisors. Today's podcast guest is Coach Al from United States, and we are going to talk about something very significant. But before I proceed, I will request all my audience to please subscribe our channel, The Strategy. The link is given below this video. So, welcome, Coach, to our show. We are very honored to welcome here and to invite you for this interview. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy to be here. And we'll talk about all these problems about the mind.
Today's topic is titled Personalities and Success. I will briefly introduce Coach Al for my audience. Coach was born with obesity and ADHD, has a brother who has autism, was living in a dysfunctional family, struggled to learn and fit into society. At 15 years old, he found a mentor called Zovek. He learned self hypnosis from him, and this has changed his life ever since. Coach L started doing track and field. As a result, he got in shape, and after suffering an injury in the track and field, he started learning gymnastics. He studied engineering, but his heart and soul was in learning more about the mind. So he began studying sports psychology. Today, he continued coaching at an elite level and works with professional elites mindset. He has written several books: The Mentality of Competitive Athlete, Personality or Identity, New Theory of Mind, and Quantum Books, to name a few. These are best tools for changing the subconscious mind. He also created several training systems like Mental Blocks, ASD Alternative, ADHD Alternative, and Better Coaches, now with NLP, which is a training system that he made in conjunction with Dr. Steve G. Jones. He has interviewed Dr. Simon Rogers for Solid Rock Health Qigong, Dr. Joe Rubino for Self Esteem, Elevation for Children, Dr. William Horton for Apex Addiction Recovery Program, and many more. Uh, his philosophy is the sky is not the limit is your mindset. Every human being deserves greater opportunities in their life and the opportunity to live happily. His goal is to awaken people's talents and help people enjoy a life full of satisfaction. So, here we go, Coach. Shall I start with my first question?
Yes, sure.
So, based out of your learning of mind and personalities, what would you say that how many kinds of personalities exist?
I discovered that we have two real personalities. The number one is the core personality and the covert personality. The covert personality is where we show we are. I'm a doctor, I'm an engineer, I'm doing this one, is you behaves. But the core personality is what is deep inside you and contain all the programs, all the beliefs you have, all the values and the counter values. And I discovered another thing. Every one of those two personalities, the cover and core personality, has another two personalities, is the blue and the red. The blue personality is the one who you are like the people who is a little bit shy. They don't talk to other people. They are very introvert. The blue personality is like that. But the red personality is exactly the opposite. They're very extrovert and they talk with everybody. They try to connect with everybody. I discovered that any sickness in the mind depends on the personality. The personality dictates how you interpret what you see outside your world. Because if you have a blue personality majority, because those two personalities are fighting to control you, to be the supremacy. It's like two political parties fighting for supremacy. It's exactly the same with your mind. The blue personality and the red personality always try to win. And the personality who dominate not always dominate in all the cases of your life. You can be very red personality, dominant personality at home, and you go to your job and you act like the blue personality because that works over there. And then I noticed that majority of the problems is that you don't know discover what is the best things of your personality for you to succeed in business, to succeed in whatever you want to be.
Mm-hmm. And how do you, say that each personality must be behaving differently? So how do we segregate or distinguish between one personality and the other personality on the basis of the behavior they exhibit?
Well, when you discover what kind of personality you have and what is the successful personality uh, you can create better results is like in some environment, in some activity, you have very good results, but in others not. Because when you have the two personalities balanced is when you are the best. Not when you are red, but when you are blue.
Mm-hmm.
This is the main thing. Probably everybody noticed one thing in when they are their job, they are very good about their job. It's because they balance the two personalities. They don't they are not controlled by the emotions and by the excitement of things. They are very balanced.
Mm-hmm.
And when they go home, they're not the same people. And the reason is because they change personality. And then they lose the control, they lose everything. Then basically, to be successful, you need to balance the personalities.
Right. But how do I, like, which one is better? Is there any criteria that we can say that this particular personality is better than the other kind of personality?
Well, try to think this way. Which personality is better for you?
Mm-hmm.
Because according with your beliefs, according with the talents you have, one personality will be better for you. Because if that personality works for me, maybe it doesn't work for you. And then
True.
everybody needs to be authentic.
Mm-hmm.
The idea is to don't try to imitate others. Because and you can model them. This is the real thing. You model other successful people, but you don't imitate. I have an example when I have a visit in Italy. I see a Monet. That Monet was like a $2 million. The picture. I go out, and a lot of young guys was selling exactly the same picture for $200. Exactly the same one. I buy one. When I bring it to USA, nobody can distinguish the difference.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine how close they are, but one is $2 million and the other one is $200. When you imitate, you devalue yourself. You try to be something you are not. That's the major problem in majority of the people. They try to fit with certain image, and then they adopt certain personality to be successful, but this is not the way. If you have limitations, accept it. Because now I'm going to touch one important thing. The people in the majority of the time, they don't know how to love themselves and how to accept themselves. That's the major problem for success. That's the major
Mm-hmm.
problem to see what personality is better for you. If you accept yourself, you know who you are. If you love yourself, you know who you are. And then the society make programs inside you, program you to believe that if you love yourself, it's selfish, it's bad. But the subconscious mind don't know that. Let me put you an example. If you see, you visit your cousins, and there's a cute kid, you love it, and he breaks something, and the mom is very strict. What do? You help him to fix everything before the mom come back, and then if you tell him, "Don't worry, I take care of that." Then the mom comes, nothing happened, and then the subconscious mind observes you and says, "Wow, that person loved that kid." Then when you make a mistake, what happened? You start to complain, you start to judge yourself, you start to be angry, and then the subconscious mind says, "Oh, he hates himself." That's the major problem. When you love yourself, when you accept yourself, is when you start to have the real personality and when you start to be successful.
And in a way, that way you also save yourself from the conflict of what you are not and what you are behaving like. And you are very correct. Sometimes comparison are held to such an extent that a child is always reminded that he is not as better as someone else. Maybe, particularly in the peer groups, which is very, very wrong, because a child, say, because these things matter when you are at a very young age. And these kind of conflicts or comparisons can destroy or make a child. So
Totally.
yeah. So constant comparison to someone else, I have seen, because I have been a university professor. Hundreds of students have I have studied. I have sorry, taught, and when you are in a classroom and there are 40 students, for suppose, sitting in the classroom, you know after a point of time, after regular teaching, which one of them is introvert and which one of them is extrovert, which one is able to express more clearly and which one is not able to express, though equally sincere and equally dedicated to his work or her work. So comparison, sometimes kills the inherent talent. And if you are believing what you are, whatever personality you carry is the best, and as you said, you love yourself, you love your personality, you love your those hidden talents which the others might not be having. And then when you believe that you are loving yourself, then you automatically enhance those inner talents, and then you become successful because of those inner talents which are unique to you, isn't it, coach?
Exactly right. When you start to accept yourself, when you start to love yourself, you worry free about the problems of the judgment, because
Hmm.
the comparisons, because the English guy says, the English proverb says, nothing is good, nothing is bad until you compare with. But there's two ways to see it: as a competition or as a comparison. When you see as a competition, this is what I do in my sport. You you fight to be better.
Right.
When you start to see that as a comparison, you start to feel bad because you are not as good as the other person. And then the families need to have the education to the kids to learn the difference between competition and comparison. How that happened? We try to make the kids happy all the time, and this is not our mission as a parents. Our mission is to teach them to be successful, and the most important, take away all the limitations they have since they born. No, hide them. Tell them this is your limitation. Work for it. No, cover up. And then when we grow up and we start to be in business, guess what happened? All those programs start to show off the same way that we was kids. But it's not the end, because the people can reprogram the subconscious mind.
Hmm.
There's one way to learn by any human being is by assumptions. You don't learn because the parents tell you this one, because the teachers tell you that one, or because you see the news, or because you have a different culture. You learn by your assumptions. What you assume in your mind is what you're going to learn. That's why if the same family has like a 5 kids, and every kid think different, and they have the same education, the same food, the same environment, but everybody interpret it different. That brings us the answer of many problems we have. It's not the problem, it's the interpretation about the problem we have.
A very, very good point. First point, there is a difference between competition and comparison. Both parents, teachers, and kids need to understand that difference. They can compete, but there is no need to compare.
Exactly. The comparison destroy you.
Yeah.
When you compare yourself with others, you start to suffer. It's a in the moment you have desires, you start to suffer. And you says, how you can be successful if you don't have desires? You don't need to have desires, you need to have goals. The difference between goals and desires, you want them to appear. Goal, you need to work for it. You need to really do it, do things, and you are loving the process to get there. When you the desire, you just want to appear with no effort.
Right. And what is an emotion? How do you define an emotion? And how
Well, an
to
emotion,
control those emotions? Because those emotions also can make and destroy the human being or humanity over excess.
well, we need to make an analysis about what emotion is first. The emotion is a chemical reaction, internal, according with the interpretation you have. But guess what? Lasts long, no more than 60 to 90 seconds. That's it. When you
Mhm.
produce the chemicals to be angry or to be sad or to be depressed or to be whatever, is 60 to 90 seconds and disappear. Your body cannot do more about that because the chemicals get absorbed by the body. But what happened, you go back to reproduce the same emotion, and then the people get more depressed, more depressed, more depressed. We have three variants into the emotion. Is the what you focus on, what you put your attention on, you repeat to yourself, and the most important, the physiology. The physiology is the most important part because at the moment you start to feel that your physiology change, just imagine that you have the head down and you says, I love you. Nobody will believe you. Or you scream to one person, I love you. Nobody will believe you. You need to have exactly the physiology according with the emotion. At the moment you change the physiology, you change the emotion. And then how you can control angerness, smile. How you can control sadness, put a Superman pose, put it like this, and then automatically you will create different chemicals in your body. It's that simple.
Yes, that's right. That's right. You need to, switch over that mood swing. You need to come out of that depression or the sad thoughts or again, kind of negative thoughts to a positive thought process. And for that, there are several ways in which you can do, like you said, you just feel like a Superman and make a pose or look at a picture of Superman, and definitely, thoughts start diverting to a different field. Some people can switch on beautiful music, whichever they want. For example, if I want to, I'm personally telling you, whenever I feel like I am feeling low, because faces can come and go, and best thing is to switch on some very party songs, which are upbeat and very fast beats music. So that just mellow down all the sad thoughts, and I just start feeling that why to be so worried or be low, and just flow with the music, and the chemical changes do happen in the body, and you suddenly start feeling happy out of that
automatically.
phase. Yeah.
And that's why I create the quantum books.
Hmm.
Because in the subconscious mind, we don't have any word. No words go to the subconscious mind. And the conscious mind has the language and has the concepts. But the subconscious mind has no concepts, no words. The only thing it has is chemicals and feelings, what you feel. And then the subconscious works with colors, codes, and symbols. The subconscious mind know what that symbols means. All the words you says or I said are symbols for the subconscious mind. And then when I create the quantum books, is like a bank account of the actions you do. Is that bank account has two symbols only. And the major symbols in your subconscious mind is money and love. You need to create, you need to fill up every night before you go to sleep the quantum books. And this is what makes the totally change in your personality, in what you are and what you're going to believe. You need to have a goal. Like I mentioned in the beginning, you don't have a goal. It's like I start to fly an airplane with no destination. Just you want to go somewhere, but you don't know
True.
where.
True.
You need to have a destination.
Yeah.
In that moment, you know what to do and how far you are and how what when to change the course of where you are flying. But the other problem is majority of the people has too many goals. They cannot concentrate their attention like a laser beam in one point, because I want this one, I want that one, I want that one, I want everything. And then they start to work in too many things at the same time, and they will be more successful if they do only one. And after that, they succeed, they go to the other one, and they go to the other one. And after years, they will notice that they are very successful because they complete and start and complete one thing. It's like trying to jump from the first floor to the second floor, and you jump, oh, I almost get it, I almost get it, and you stay for years and you never get it. But the people who make one step every day, one day they will get there. And you know,
Definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much, Coach. That was a very interesting conversation. Nice to listen to you and your point of views. They were really, really interesting, and I'm sure our audience would have learned few very, very significant lessons in their business journey from you. Thank you so much.
thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I'm very happy to see you, and I see you soon.
Sure.